Well, hey YouTube, it's Elvis Ammo here. Hey, today I wanted to talk about these pretty cool binoculars. I saw these on the SVBONY site and shot an email over and asked if I could review these, and they sent them over to me. So for the specs that these things have, and for the price range of under $100, I was like, man, I got to check these things out. So I've had them for a few weeks, and I've been playing around with them. I've handed them to a couple of other people to look at, and you know, the feedback is nice. You know, good. They look good, look clear, and that's really the main thing that I need in a pair of binoculars. Is I need them. When you look through them, you want it to, you want your, whatever you're looking at to be clear, a clear image, and I will say they do that, and I'll tell you about the specs on these binoculars. These are the SVBONY. It is a product of Hong Kong, and I have been fooling around with their spotting scopes, and I've been impressed with it. I have one pair that I think is going to replace a spotting scope that I've already had because I liked it so much. So I decided I definitely want to check out these binoculars, and in the future I want to check out some binoculars. If you guys have a preference, please let me know in the comment section, and if you have any experience with these, by all means let us know in the comment section as well. So I got these the SV27. These are, they call these your military marine style binoculars, and they are built tough. They are rubberized just as they look. If they look rubberized, it's because they are really rubberized, which adds to the claim of shockproof. So they are fog-proof, they are waterproof, and they are shockproof, and they even have a button up here that you can turn on and off, and we'll talk about that in a minute. They do have what they call ranging capabilities on this, and we'll talk about that as well. So if they look like they've been modified, they have. I modified these because they didn't, these lens covers for your eyepiece was not connected, so I wanted them connected. Now the objective lens covers, they are connected. So what I done is I just put a piece of cordage and made it so that everything falls towards the front. So it's just a conglomerate of lens covers, and it suits me just fine. Might not suit you very well, but it does me. So anyway, let's we'll talk about the specs on these things. Are they're a 7 times zoom, and you have 50mm objective lenses here, and that's a good thing because obviously the larger your objective lens is, the more light it allows in, and the clearer the image, technically speaking. And the 7 times zoom on this was, I was thinking, how come it ain't a 10 times zoom, or something like that. Well, so I've kind of put these up against your budget Nikons and budget Bushnells, and I have a pair of Leopolds that I didn't put them up against. I should have. I haven't had these, even in the 2 or 3 weeks that I've been playing with these, I haven't thought of everything. So I'm giving you the review as of now. And So the specifications on these is a BAK4 Prism, which, if you guys don't know, I am not. First of all, I am not an expert at all on scopes or binoculars or spotting scopes or any of that. But I do have some experience looking through all of those, and we obviously know whenever something looks good or not, and that's pretty much my perspective here. So so these are a BAK4 Prism, and so I was like, what is BAK4 Prism? Because I'm not really a swanky type guy. You know, I'm kind of a practical cheapo in some ways, but I do want something that's going to hold up, something that I don't have to throw away, that kind of thing. So with that said, I did look up the BAK4. BAK4 is obviously, you know, a grade of prism, and so apparently, you know, it's way better than, you know, some of your other prisms. And I will say this, that after looking through these lenses enough times, it's a very clear image. You just don't have the aberrations that you would have in some of your other glass. So for this price point, I thought the view that I was getting was excellent for the price point. Okay, and be honest with you, I don't have enough experience, you know, with high-end stuff to say that, you know, this is as good. Okay, but it is better than some of the stuff that I have at 7 times zoom even. So anyway, so you get a clearer image with your BAK4, and I also read somewhere that they were talking about, you know, the different grades of BAK4, and obviously, you know, if you put BAK4 on there for a spec, then you know, you expect something grand, you know, but so they say that even some of your lower end BAK4 prisms. So apparently the BAK4 prism does, you know, go from lower grade to higher grade and all of those things, as all of us probably know. All right, so for under $100, I wouldn't expect a $2,000 BAK4 prism in here, and neither would anyone. So with that said, I did read that even your lower grade BAK4 is better than all of your other lenses that are not BAK4, I should say. And so I'm just giving you just a quick synopsis. So don't knock me too hard on this, but they look great. Okay, so here it is. You have on these binoculars, you have 2 adjustments here. So instead of that one adjustment in the middle right here, and I thought that was kind of wonky until I used them, and the older you get, the more your eyes get messed up. I find myself having an adjustment a little different on one than the other. So overall, it gives me a better image, you know, out to distance. And it wasn't nothing. It's like, okay, you throw them up there, and then you're just holding them like you normally do, and you know, you just turn them like this, you know, one or the other. So you know, you're just kind of fine tuning anyway. So it was actually pretty nice. So what I'm gonna do is, now there's some differences inside of here that you're not going to be able to, you know, you might not be able to see. I haven't even tried this. Looking through, yeah, you're not going to be able to see through there good. I don't know what you've seen in there, but I didn't see much. So what I'm going to do is there's a scale inside of this right lens right here. All right, and there's some numbers on the scale, you know, going horizontally and vertically. And what you're supposed to be able to do with that is you can range what you're looking at to see how far away it is. So if you have, like for instance, just like some of our scopes that we look through, you know, if you have a known image or a man, for instance, he's 6 foot tall, his shoulders are so wide, that kind of thing, you know, we can range using that kind of technology, and this is similar to that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll in some footage. I'm going to roll in a picture that I took through the lens, and let's see. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll roll in an image of what you can see in here as far as the scale, all right, and compass. So there's inside of this lens, you'll see a compass at the bottom and a scale at the top. So what I've done is I put it against a white background so that you could, otherwise you can't necessarily, you don't focus on these numbers that you're seeing in there. You actually look right through them, so you have to focus on them if you want to see them, in other words. So that's what I've done, is I forced it to focus on it. Put a white background in there and you'll see some numbers, and so you'll see the scale that I'm talking about. And then at the bottom there is a compass. So what that does is when you're looking through these binoculars and you're turning your head, you know, say you're looking east, all right, and you're turning your head like this, you're like, okay, so now I'm at 95 degrees east, and now I'm at 100 degrees east, now I'm at 105 degrees east, that kind of thing. So if you're observing something in the distance, you know, especially if you were on a boat or something like that and everything looks the same and you have nothing to, you won't be able to say it's near that tree, you know. So then you can just say, look, it's directly ahead of you at 96 degrees east, for instance. So so if you hand these binoculars to someone else, or if you lift them back up again and you want to look at the same direction you just looked at on the horizon, you can just go right to 96 degrees east and find the exact spot you were looking at, and so that direction will not be lost. That's kind of the idea. So they do have some pretty cool features, and I like that one. That's probably one of my favorite features as far as features outside the norm on the binoculars. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll in some footage and we're going to look at this scale, and then we'll come back. Okay, so that was so that's what you can see when you focus, and it's in this right lens right here. Okay, so when you focus, that's what you can see, and I just kind of forced the focus. You know, that's not actually what it looks like. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll in a photo that I took through the right lens of what it actually all looks like if you're just looking out into the distance. Okay, so you'll see that maybe you may be able to see it in this photo. I'm not sure because I don't have it up yet, but I can make it out in the photo itself. Okay, so maybe you'll be able to see it, but you'll be able to see the scale and the compass as you were looking out. But I will say this, in the photo it looks a little more organized than it would look if you were just actually looking out. Your lens looks a little more round looking out, but if you're just looking at this photo, it's going to look a little squared off where the compass is, just so you know what it actually looks like. But for the most part, this is what it actually looks like when you're looking through. But I will say this, the clarity of the image is horrible compared to what you actually see, and I just can't help that. I don't want to make it, I don't want you to see the image and say, oh, that's a terrible image. Well, it kind of does look terrible as far as compared to what it would look like if you were actually looking through the optic here. So let me roll this in, you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, so that's actually what it looks like, you know, when you're actually looking through there, you know, minus the terrible quality of the picture, be honest with you. That's it. So so that's what you can use. Each one of those numbers represent 10 mils, okay? And you know, here's your you know, you have so you have this capability, you know, of measuring distance there. You have your two focal lenses right here, all right, for you know, focusing in and out kind of thing. And then you have this stuff that you see up here, and this is just simply, you know, a scale, you know, of the distance and the object size. Be honest with you, there's even though I think I can use this scale that they put here, it's just supposed to make everything a little easier for you, you know, to turn this to where you're, you know, so you can find the distance, you know. But be honest with you, it's a little wonky. I'll be honest with you. This is a big con in my opinion, and the only reason I would say it's a con is because they just don't give you enough information. The details in the instruction book, it's just, there's just not enough information there, in my opinion. So that's a big con for that one reason alone. Okay, now some of you technical savvy guys out there would probably figure this right out, and I know that I could too. I just haven't really taken the time because I didn't really see the need, okay, for me. So it's just, I think it's just kind of a, you know, a scale that's supposed to make your life easier, and instead it complicates things, in my opinion. All right, so that's what that is. So now, you know, here's your, you know, this thing comes in just about every language there is. All right, and these are your specs right here, you know. So just so you can see that if you're interested, these are all your specs. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here. I just don't think it's really worth going through a lot of detail here. It's pretty straightforward. And there it is. All right. So so now the other thing that I want to talk about is it does take batteries. Why does this thing take batteries? Well, you know, it's got these little batteries. They're the LR936 little button batteries right down in there, and there's two of them. And you screw this down in there like that. All right. So now this, as far as I'm concerned, is just it's optional, and I'll tell you why. Because this thing that you see right here is a window that allows light to come in so that you can see that compass light up down there. Alright, but if you're in low light, you might not be able to see that compass, and that's where the batteries come in, because that's what this does. You hold this button. I'm gonna push this button, and you're gonna see this light up. I don't know if you're gonna see it on video or not. I think you will. But it's like a yellowy light. All right. So here you go. I'm gonna push the button and let it go. Yep, you can see that. Push it, let it go. So that's all you do, is just push it and hold it down if you need light, and then you let it go and it goes away. That's all there is to it. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. So I will say I like the lens covers on it. I like how well they're built. The binoculars feel like kind of a tank. You know, they feel like they'll hold up good. I love the large size of your lenses. It does allow a lot of light to come in. You know, they're a pleasure to use, to be honest with you. And that's the SV BONY SV27s. make sure I told you the right thing. SV27. Yep. And this is what you get in the package. Nice little case. Comes with a strap. I just got it all kind of wrapped up here. It's not a super duper expensive case, but it's actually kind of nice. It's a all padded case like this. You know, it's got a little compartment right here. Got your little lens cleaner down here, and the binoculars just fit nice and snug in there, and then they just lock up like that. You know, I love it. I think it's great. I love the binoculars as well. For under $100, I think you get a lot for your money there. I love the compass feature in it, and obviously the ability and to use those mils that are in this optic, you know, to range distance. But it's a little on the wonky side. The first thing you got to know is you got to know, you know, now if you're looking at a man downrange, you know, you can estimate, you know, his height and that kind of thing, and so you know, it's not you know, a high tech way of ranging. It's not a laser ranger or anything like that. But I do like that it has that feature in it, and I love the compass in it. So that's the SV27. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any experience with this kind of thing. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of information. And let me know if you want to see one of the binoculars from SVBONY, or if there's a product from this company that you'd like to see. Let me know. I'll see if I can get it. That's all that I can do. And if you want to support me on Patreon, go down, click the link. We're giving stuff away. I'll see you in the next video.